What's going on, and welcome to the Stick Drift Podcast, a podcast for all things cars, racing games, motorsports, and more. Josh, did you know that the Stick Drift Podcast can go 0 to 60 in 0.01 miles? Wait, no, not miles.
It can do that in 0.1 mile an hour, yeah.
It can do 0 to 60 in 0.1 mile an hour. See, it goes so quick. We don't even measure the time it takes. We measure the distance that it takes to get to that speed.
Exactly. It's just that quick.
It's that quick. On top of that, the Stick Drift Podcast could be towing 5 Tesla semi-trucks and still be quicker than a Tesla Roadster.
Yeah.
And that's the quality we provide on the Stick Drift Podcast. Welcome back to the Stick Drift Podcast, how every single week, all things car culture, racing games and motorsports. And we've got a fair bit of news. We're recording a day early because I'm busy. Because
is it a day early at this point? It's just a day.
It's a day. We are recording on a day.
It is near the weekend, which is what it usually is at this point.
I think vaguely in my head canon of the Stick Drift Podcast, it's record Monday, upload Tuesday is a vaguely what I'm fairly
like that,
certain
but
it is.
yeah, sure. It's whatever you want it to be.
Hey, I mean, Tuesday works because, like, early accesses and stuff for racing games and well, for the crew. And it also works for other stuff. It also means that Motorsports
all
Monday...
those other deadlines that happen. All those other deadlines that happen on Tuesday.
Exactly, all those embargoes that we have to meet for the car news that we set.
Yeah.
We've broken many stories, like Stick Drift Podcast broke the 0 to 60 world record, and that was obviously under embargo. So there's that. It also means that Motorsports Monday is not coming back because it's only funny when it's got nothing to do with Monday, but unfortunately, it has stuff to do with Monday, so there's no point in calling it Motorsports Monday. But it also means there's a consistency now. Which, speaking of consistency...
What? For the first 4 weeks.
Right? If you want to consistently get the podcast in your subscription feed, or... What? Does Spotify have notifications? I feel like
I've never got a Spotify notification. There's emails, but...
I feel like I've gotten a thing that was like, hey, this podcast uploaded another episode. But that might just be me making that up.
I've never seen that before.
But there is whatever. You can follow on Spotify. Well, we'll be in your library. So follow on Spotify, put us in your sub feed on YouTube, whatever you gotta do, and share the podcast with all your car news loving mates. And what have we got in store news-wise today?
It's a selection from what I've seen.
You know what? I'll let you run down the news for this episode. What have we got upcoming?
Where is it?
Well, I put a rundown in the DMs, and then there's obviously the stories in the actual chat and the curated chat. I don't know. Just give the brief summary on the topics coming up today on the Stick Drift Podcast.
I mean, there's some news about Apple, Aston Martin. That are they related? Was that?
That's quick news. That's
this is quick news. Yeah, very well.
Go on.
Are you not carrying on? Okay,
no,
sure.
No, you run with it. Run with it. This is your segment now.
Where was I?
You explain the upcoming topics.
Aston Martin car news. You know, that's in there somewhere.
We'll look forward to that. Huh?
Audi are doing something. Some news about Bugatti. And some exciting Tesla news as well.
I've done introducing the upcoming news for what? How many weeks? And from
I have no idea how it's formatted. That's all.
It's not okay. So if I was to portray the upcoming news, I'd be like, well, we've got a few stories that we're going to be talking about today. Some we're going to be just quickly running through stuff like Apple quitting the car game as if they were even in it. We've got Aston Martin and Audi going exact opposite ways when it comes to electric cars. We've got the Chiron potentially passing away. And some absolutely cartoonish behavior with Elon Musk and the Roadster. You know,
I've never heard you introduce it like that before, but I'll take
you headline them, you know, you headline them. I've definitely gone like, hey, we're going to be talking about whatever, you know?
I haven't seen a single one of these articles in about a week, but yeah.
But so I suppose, speaking of, let's jump into quick news. Oh my god, quick news!
Quick news?
Quick news, so quick that they can actually beat the Tesla Roadster. Except we can't because it goes 1 billion miles an hour.
Claimed.
Well, claimed, yes. Well, first bit of quick news, as I mentioned, and you very eloquently mentioned, Apple is quitting the car game. It
was inevitable, though. It was.
So, which phone companies are in the quote car game? Xiaomi, yes, which we talked about in a previous episode of the Stick Drift podcast. They just made like a sedan McLaren that weighed like as much as 5 black holes. Google.
The Google car rings a bell somewhere.
I feel like they switched to self-driving rather than a single viable
I mean,
model.
I imagine they've gone the Apple approach and just gone software-based, not hardware.
Yeah, I think they still did make like a car, but it was one that just had a rig on the top and it was a self-driving whatever. I suppose Oh wait, no. Okay, this isn't Samsung, but S's, I suppose. Sony, not a phone company. No, they are a phone company. To be fair, I forget
to make the Xperia. Yeah.
Yeah, they do they still make the Xperia? Can you still buy a Sony Xperia? Well, you look that up. But Sony recently
1.3 grand for a new Sony Xperia.
Oh god.
Closing that tab.
So Sony, they recently did like what car was it? Because they did a thing, but what car was it with?
Honda collab.
So they collabed with Honda, and they made it so that you could drive your car.
So Honda make the car,
yeah,
and Sony do some software.
Yeah, so basically, it's also switching to software-based instead of making a car. You know what? Good on Xiaomi. As much as it's probably going to be a bad car, at least they're making a car.
You say they're making a car. Is it going to make it to production?
Oh, that's a fair point. I mean, it looked done as much as it can be.
Yeah, it's very easy to make a car look done on the outside.
I suppose. I suppose that's it. Samsung aren't doing much. Although a foldable car would be rather cool. Other than that, I don't think anyone's. I'm trying to think of the logistics of how a car would fold. Like, how do you? Okay, hear me out, right?
They'd do something stupid. Like the rear window would be a screen, but you could scroll it. We could fold it down and like rolls up into like a tube or something stupid.
I can see Samsung do it. Samsung would be the ones to do something absolutely outrageous like that, and then Apple would add it, and then be like, oh my god. To be fair, though, Apple cars, especially now with the Vision Pro, not sure how legal it would be, but they could have made the screen like a Vision Pro, right? Where you got screens outside, so you're driving around, but there's a big screen outside the car, in front of your car.
From legal as humanly possible, but yeah, sure.
But like, no, it would be. But okay, no, there's not really any saving that.
And they'd be stolen every 5 milliseconds.
Oh yeah, that too. Yes. I imagine they'd add like you unlock it with your car, you like click the little Apple Pay and then switch to the car, and then you open the car, and you know what? An Apple car would actually suck. It would be the MacBook of cars, and that's unfortunate. But then again, the MacBook is good at specific things, so maybe it could have been the best car ever made.
The best car that's not good at being a car is good at being a bed or something. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. But you know what? Apple, they were going nowhere. Was there stuff about them? Did they do anything? Did they have a test model?
I think they were just solely R&D is all it was. They were just funneling money into a project that I think they just kind of figured this is never going to come to fruition. It's a waste of money at the end of the day.
I hear a lot about Apple CarPlay. That's a big thing, right? So they've got that industry in a chokehold, I guess.
I've never been in the car with Apple CarPlay. So.
Oh, well, I hear about it all the time, I suppose.
I don't own a car new enough, unfortunately.
Also that, I guess. Maybe a VX220
my
will
Apple
have Apple CarPlay
is having my phone mounted to my dashboard. There you
go. Maybe a VX220 will have Apple CarPlay. You know, they went back and added it.
Yeah, they went back to 2002 to add Apple CarPlay.
Exactly. It had like iPhone 4. Not even iPhone 4. Would it be the iPhone?
It would be pre-iPhone. iPhone was 2007.
Would it be pre-iPhone? Pre-iPhones were made 2007?
Yeah.
As in iPhones were made 2000? Oh, damn.
Or the iPhone 2G was 2007.
They're younger than I thought, you know? What does that make them?
I mean, 2007 is a very long time ago.
Is it? 10?
14 years?
3...
Not way longer than that.
Oh, gotta be like 18 years. 17,
Yeah.
18 years. Oh, God. God, we're getting old. We're getting old.
I mean, they are on the iPhone 16, so that makes sense.
Someone born 2007 is 18 years of age? Oh, God. Oh, God. Dear. Yeah. Oh, and 17, I think, actually.
17, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's a bit more justifiable. So next year they will be. God, we're getting old. But one thing that can outrun age is speed. Especially the speed of a Tesla Roadster at specifically 0.001 mile an hour. I was going to say top speed. I didn't mean top speed. I mean, I said mile an hour. I've already messed it up. Electric
what are
cars.
you on about? Like,
Don't
actually,
even worry
what are you on
about it. Electric cars. Aston Martin and Audi are currently in a tug of war going opposite directions with electric cars. One of them...
I don't think it's much of a tug of war. Audi are winning in about every single aspect.
Oh, do you reckon? Well, well, okay, yes, Audi make more money, yeah, sure. But I
they
mean,
make more electric cars as well.
Oh, yeah, that too. But this specific decision, you would say Audi's making the better decision here? Is that what you were claiming?
Who buys an Aston Martin anyway?
I don't know, people who live in London.
What
buy
is
an
this
Aston
render
Martin.
as well? Like,
Look,
it's a
autocar.
like a new DB11 thing, but it's lifted.
Yeah, it's lifted. It's
P0s for some reason.
It's like a Valkyrie, but a Lanzador, but lower. It's rather odd.
Got all the sidewall known to man on those tires.
Yeah, Autocar like making very odd cars. But speaking of making very odd cars, Aston Martin have decided, this is from the boys over at Autocar, to delay their first electric car to 2026. Now, I don't know when their original first electric car was intended to be.
A few years ago.
Was it? Oh, ooh.
It's one of those that no one will buy one. I think they just keep doing market research, and it's just no one wants one.
Especially an Aston Martin.
You gotta think the average Aston Martin customer is over the age of 60.
Then again, ULEZ zones. Because, I mean, if you want to own an Aston Martin in London...
A new Aston Martin's ULEZ compliant.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Okay, yeah, eventually when they're not, I suppose, then maybe, but I don't even...
That's going to be a very long time. You can get a ULEZ 6, a Euro 6 V12 Vantage or something like that. It's ridiculous.
What is ULEZ even done on? Is it done on...
Car age.
Is it car... So it's not even done on the emissions of a car? So...
What it is, it's on the emissions of a car at the time it was made and what classification it was. So a Euro... What's Euro 4? A Euro 3 Corsa will emit less CO2 than a Euro 6 Plus V12 Vantage. But the Euro 6 V12 Vantage is ULEZ compliant because it's newer.
Exactly. Well, what a load of nonsense. You know what?
Yeah.
Any American viewers, be lucky that you don't have to deal with bloody ULEZ, tell you what. But the Aston Martin, they've delayed their EVs to 2026, which is a while away, all things considered. We also believe, I'm not actually too sure who this is from, and I guess we'll never know. We also believe that it will be there in the future. It's not going away. We just think there's a slight delay to the project. We believe that
they're gonna just push it back again, and it's gonna be one of those things. They're not gonna release it unless they have to, but they have it in the tank in case they have to.
Yeah, we believe that consumer demand is not at the place that analysts and politicians thought. That's a curveball to politicians, I guess. At this point, we're not willing to let the cat out of the bag regarding exactly what the BEVs... BEVs? Is that
Battery
British?
electric vehicle.
What is it? Oh, battery electric?
Yeah.
What's the other option? What's the...
PHEV, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle.
Oh, as in, does BEV just mean like fully electric then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, just call it an EV then. Whatever, electric
Then you've
vehicle.
got MHEV, PHEV.
What does that mean? MHEV?
Mild hybrid electric vehicle.
Mild hybrid. It sounds like it's been diagnosed with something.
It's non-plug-in hybrid. The engine charges the battery. It's mild hybrid. Plug-in hybrid electric vehicle is plug-in to charge the battery, and it's a hybrid vehicle. And then you got diesel and petrol.
What? You know what? Cars, I'm done with it.
DVLA does cause some waffle sometimes.
Yeah.
It's SA. My bad. DVSA.
Oh, there you go. Well,
SA?
Aston Martin.
Who knows?
It might be.
British government comes up with some waffle sometimes as well. I'll give them that.
Aston Martin is cancelling their EVs while Audi is announcing, also from the boys over at Autocar,
Take away their renderers. What is this?
The electric replacement for the Audi TT is gonna be coming at some point, I assume. This is a terrible render. It is a.
Shocking.
It is. It's also nothing
They've
to do with the TT.
taken an e-tron and gone, yeah, shrink it a bit. Yeah.
In what way? In what way is that anything to do with the Audi TT? Right? Like, it doesn't look like a TT. It's not got the shape of a TT. The TT's supposed to have a much more.
They've made it into a Jaguar.
Exactly. Yeah. That's a very good example, actually. But it's also got, like, this looks very Aston. But it's
also green.
There you go. Yeah, TTs are supposed to have the big back, set to introduce within 5 or 10 years. Okay, so whatever then,
yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
But
it will sell horribly.
It depends on the price, and I'm not one to care about price too often, but it does depend on the price.
Bags, calm down.
Huh?
Mr. Moneybags over. I'm not one to care about price.
See, I don't mean that to be like I'd buy it anyway. I mean that to be like I'd still think it's a cool car regardless of price. I didn't mean it like that.
Again, target market.
Yeah.
No one wants. The TT market is an electric TT market.
You reckon? Actually, no. I see that. I see that very much. So I don't see the average TT buyer being like, "Oh, an Audi TT, but it has no engine sound. Yay!" Yeah. And seeing as I'm relatable and humble and relatable, I actually also agree that the Audi TTV, the Twitch TV, the Audi TT EV will be bad, but they're doing that would be good. the e-tron, that's pretty good. But they're doing a sedan, they're doing a wagon, they've got a sports car, they've got an SUV.
They have a sports car?
The e-tron, right? Or is that like a... Is that what that is? Okay, what's the difference? I mean, you know what? I don't want to know.
A Grand Tour is like a...
Yeah.
Like an Aston Martin, basically.
I guess so, yeah. It's
big engine. Oh, sorry, it's EV, but big engine, very large car, comfortable for long distance.
Is it? Yeah. Is it the middle? But is it like a not luxury, but like
it's a sporty
sedan?
Like,
yeah,
a long distance sporty sedan.
Okay. So yeah, so they got the e-tron, a Grand Tourer.
Yeah.
They're doing a sedan. They've got an SUV. They're doing a wagon. I assume they've
got a million SUVs.
Do you think they do an electric R8 before a TT, or are they testing the waters with the TT and seeing if anyone will actually care
They're not going to develop their own platform, I don't think. They'll wait for Lamborghini to develop an EV, and they'll just hijack that platform, like they did with the R8.
Lanzador's EV now, I believe
it's not.
Is it? Lanzador is, I swear Lanzador's an EV.
Oh, the big SUV, yeah, I keep forgetting that's called the Lanzador.
Yeah. What do you think? You think I was talking about the Revolto?
No,
What do you think I was talking about?
I can see it in my head, but I can't show you that. So
doesn't help
me much. It's orange, but it's not the Revolto. It's got like a weird vent thing that's fangs.
With fangs? What do you mean, the Cyan?
No, it's green.
It's the Cyan's green, yeah. Orange Lamborghinis. I don't know what you could be referring to.
I just made this up, to be honest.
You might have.
Carry on.
But But you know what?
Hallucinating new Lamborghinis. I'm making the colonies up in my head.
There you go. I just saw this, and this is rather funny. This is from Lamborghini concept art, and this is concept art for the Lanzador.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
If you don't, for the audio listeners,
why is that?
Oh, so it started as a Urus? Yeah. Okay, when a Urus.
With
Hurricane.
bigger wheels on a Urus, turned into the
Yeah.
off-road Hurricane. It then became like an Aventador, and then it was just meant to be an Aventador with bigger wheels.
Well, I guess it's a. Is it supposed to be like a combination between the? Because they've written Urus, then they've written Hurricane, then they've written Revolti. Is it supposed to be like a combination of the three? I mean,
They've taken the worst from all three and put them together.
And why are the wheels so big? Those are so cartoonishly big. For the audio listeners, it's a concept artwork of those three cars that I just mentioned, and the bottom is a pretty accurate to what it ended up being. Lanzador sketch with massive wheels, like bigger than they are on the.
They're like
actual
35,
Lanzador.
so I don't know why they've done that. But, you know,
I guess that's what they were going for. And maybe it'll grow on us eventually.
Nah.
Not anytime soon.
Nah.
So the Audi TT Tron. Right, that also works. They gotta be. I should copyright these.
TT's based on the Golf R.
Oh, is it?
They're not.
Yeah. It's a rather low-end car for it to be based on.
Golf R's like a £50,000 car. How should be the low end? Yeah.
Oh, I see. See, I just think of the Golf. Is it the R that makes it all big and?
The R's 300 horsepower rear-wheel drive. It's the cool Golf.
Sure.
It's above the GTI. You get the normal, the GT, the GTI, then the R.
I do see this thing flopping immensely, though.
Yes, it will sell 4 units.
Yeah, the Audi TT Tron.
Because why would you buy an EV sports car when you could buy an MX-5 at half the cost?
Oh god, cost as well. It's gonna be rough. Hey, I mean, resale though. You're gonna be able to pick up a probably light and sporty TT EV.
Light is a bold statement.
That's a fair point. A sporty TT Tron for like 5k in a couple years after. So
yeah, 3 weeks. 3 weeks after releases.
Exactly. So if you're like, say you're 10 years old right now, right? In 5 to 10 years, you'll have a depreciated TT Tron to buy. So you could get it as your first car. Unfortunate. Both of those guys are going opposite direction. Aston Martin, at least Aston Martin's playing it safe. Like, at least
they couldn't sell an EV. They barely sell any cars normally. They couldn't sell an EV if they had to.
To be fair...
Imagine the average person who wanders into an Aston Martin dealership and trying to sell them an EV.
I feel like Aston Martin could get away with it. If they made it all fancy, and they made it all enticing...
People cry when they don't use the V12. They're gonna lose their minds in this EV.
Oh, well... Speaking...
If Aston Martin didn't use the V8 and the V12, they would sell no cars.
See, what car companies are missing is an advertising campaign that makes people think there's, like the V is, versions of batteries, right? Like, being like, this one's a...
They're gonna stack the batteries on a V configuration.
Well, no, I don't, like, just some sort of, like, numerator being like, this one's a 6-coil whatever, or whatever. They need, like, a measuring system.
Well, they do that with the Teslas and the Volvos. They have, like, how many motors they have.
Yeah,
like
there you go, right?
4-motor, or quad-motor, or whatever it is.
There needs to be, like, a campaign to ingrain motors into people's heads, right?
It doesn't work like that.
But the same way cylinders are, right? The same way your cylinders are.
The different amount of cylinders give different characteristics. It's not, I'll just make it a V8 of an i4 for the fun of it.
Okay, well then instead... join a cabal with all the other people in the EV market, and then start giving them characteristics, and just be like, yeah, that just happened. How did that happen? A Ford motor happens to have.
Moving on.
Speaking of outrageous V and numerical engines, Bugatti has confirmed that they are going to be replacing the Bugatti Chiron with what I heard, what I read and saw, was a V16 engine
They're not replacing the engine, they're replacing the entire car. You just get an engine now when you order a new Chiron.
Yeah. But they are swapping it out for a V16, which the only time I'd ever heard of a V16 before was Johnny English. Because Rolls-Royce made one, and they gave it to Mr. Bean, and when he was going into Johnny English, I think he said this on Top Gear, but he was like, yeah, he went to go do Johnny English, and I was like, hey, could you guys give me your Phantom that has, like, the V16 engine in it, please, to put in Johnny English? Like, I mean, you know what? James Bond has Aston Martin. If Johnny English is dripping around in a V16, I know who I'd rather. But
I don't think anything more unreliable on the planet than a one-off engine Rolls Royce. Like you'd have to every time you drove out of the driveway, the showroom, they'd turn it around.
But then again, I guess if you've got a one-off engine Rolls Royce will probably cover the fixing it and everything.
I don't think they'd cover it for free. I can tell you that.
I suppose, yeah. Then again, it is Sir Rowan Atkinson, you know.
Yeah, but they know it's got money.
No, that is also very true. Hasn't he crashed like 5 McLaren F1s?
I think he crashed the same McLaren F1 twice.
What a muppet!
Might have been 2 different ones, I'm not sure.
Glad he survived, but what a muppet!
I imagine it's a horrible car to drive in the UK. No traction control. It's 600 horsepower rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Step on the throttle too much, things are backwards down the road.
Imagine being him making that second call. Like, imagine, you've already crashed a McLaren F1. You've already wrecked it. You've had to have it repaired. You slid out. You're in hospital for a little bit. And then you do it again. And now you got to make all these phone calls being like, yeah, you know the McLaren F1 I crashed. I kind of crashed it again. Could you come and... Could I have it repaired again, please? He's probably actively contributed to that car's value, I assume. How many of those did they make?
Not a lot, but not a little, if you know what I mean. They made a fair amount.
Okay, so not like you could just toss a few in a lake.
Hundreds.
I suppose we'll see.
But
good on him, to be fair.
106.
106. Okay, yeah, you know what? Chucking a few into a tree. I'm sure he actually did bring up the value.
I imagine they're both prepared as well. I don't think unless one was a write-off.
Oh, that'd be.
Bear in mind they weren't £1 million cars back then when he crashed them.
Oh, okay. Oh, I imagine he's even more livid now then. If he doesn't have them still. But
I think he sold one of them for 400 grand.
Oh damn! Oh, good. That's rough. See, that wasn't the Rocket League trading mindset that he was not in possession of.
With his inventory.
Exactly. See, that's what I'm talking about. If he traded a few more Fenix, he could have bought another one as well.
Yeah.
But the Bugatti Chiron is being retired. This car, rather iconic.
They're beating a dead horse at the minute of how many editions they're making. But...
Yeah. Okay. To be fair, I think it was coming a mile away. That the Chiron was on its way out when they did the. This one's got this spoiler, and it's the Profile or whatever.
They've done 2 other ones. That one was slightly red, and that was an addition. And then there's one with like a blue line down the side. We saw the blue line one.
We saw the blue line one. This one was actually good. You said that actually. You were like, yes,
they painted cars on the side of the car.
So they made
it's worth double MSRP.
They made a really good livery and put some custom parts on it. Custom color parts. They even put some really good-looking mismatched rims on it, and made this car that represents
I forgot they're mismatched.
There you go.
So bad.
It looks so good. They made a livery that is so phenomenally perfect and represents the history and heritage
Buy 5
of Bugatti.
Veyrons for how much this cost.
And they made this thing.
Buy 5 Veyrons, please. They'll be worth more.
And it was a one-off. But the Veyron as a car, obviously there was the 300 Plus, there was the Super Sport, probably the same thing, I don't know, at least that one was different. Chiron, also the fastest car in the world at some point? Yes, no? I'm fairly certain it was.
Unofficially. They did it you have to do it both ways to get the official world record, they only did it one way.
Okay.
It's one of the code execs, I think, at the minute.
Did they do it the way that the wind was going that day? I assume.
there's no reason they wouldn't do it officially.
Yeah.
If it wasn't slower than the fastest car. Because they will know.
Yeah.
They will have the data.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Surely you wait till the wind's going sideways. Is that not like the best strategy ever that I've just
Well,
thought?
ideally, there's no wind.
Okay, that's a fair point.
Want.
Yeah, no, that's a better idea, I suppose. But
which is quite feasible in the middle of summer. So.
I guess the Chiron already, though, other than being a rather iconic car, it was also already the predecessor to the Veyron, which also was the fastest car in the world.
Successor of the Veyron.
Is that what I meant? That's what I said.
You said predecessor. I don't think the Chiron came out before the Veyron.
That's a fair point. The Veyron
time
was
works backwards.
The Veyron was its predecessor. The Veyron also the fastest car in the world.
I think the Veyron was the fastest car at the time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when you've got 4 turbochargers of the W16, is it borderline cheating?
There you go. But yeah, they beasted that one. I remember because that was one of my first. Wild thinking about it now. Dream cars. I was like, oh my god, the fastest car
I
in the
prefer the
world.
Veyron to the Chiron.
Oh, do you? I think the Veyron looks of its time.
It looks
in a
very
good way.
early 2000s cool.
Yeah, in a good way, it looks of its time. I will say.
And the fact that they're like well under half the price of a Chiron as well.
I suppose so. Yeah, they are so 2000s. Yeah,
it's the most early to mid 2000s. Like futuristic retro I've ever seen. Look at
that. And you know what? They beasted with it. They absolutely beasted. And then the Chiron obviously followed that up, being more of a.
It's like much less interesting to look at. The Veyron Veyron looks like a concept car that was real.
Yeah.
The Chiron looks like a generic one-off hypercar that one company makes.
I was gonna say the Chiron became more of a car, is what happened. I suppose it went more for. You know, it's stretched out, lower, wider.
The Veyron was Volkswagen has too much money. How do they spend it?
Yeah.
The Chiron is post 2008. When did the Veyron come out?
Oh, so long ago. If it was my dream car, I suppose, and it was already diddling about before that. It was also a samurai in one of the Transformers.
05, yeah, so it was pre-recession. That makes sense.
Well, there you go.
Volkswagen ain't gonna dump hundreds of millions into a car development program.
If you think about it, UK wise, Chiron also pre-recession. If you think about it with the Chiron,
depends which recession you count it.
Exactly right. That's what I'm talking about. Recession, the sequel, the Economy Strikes Back. That one, it is a pre-recession vehicle. But, God, speaking of recessions, they're now making a new car, a V16. Which what's a V16 do? What does that?
I mean, it's got 16 cylinders in a V configuration. It'll be 8 on each side. It's 16 divided by 2.
And you said that it's got characteristics. What's the characteristics of a V16? What's its personality?
All the torque in the world.
Literally
just be the W16, but. I guess slightly more torquey, which I don't think you really need, to be honest.
And it will.
They're literally just moving from W to V because. I don't know why. Because surely if you can get a V16 through whatever emissions regulation, they're cheating.
That's a fair point. Yeah.
Also, this does not pass emissions. I guarantee it. Yeah. Why would they switch from the W? Because. I mean, they're going to be the only ones making a V16, but
because they know it's going to be an L.
W. Cool, I know what makes a W.
But how far of an off whatever do you think this is going to be? How far do you think the apple is going to land from the tree? Do you reckon it's going to be very similar? Is it just going to be a facelift essentially? Is it going to be completely revamped?
They don't have money. Well, they do, but they don't have. They don't have Veyron money.
Then again, the Chiron in its lifetime has probably made a lot of money. Then you consider the fact that they're banking on this next one.
I think they probably lose money on every Chiron they sell.
Oh, do you reckon? Well, because they hand make them, I guess, or whatever? Or not hand make
them,
they're
handmade.
They're to-order made.
That engine alone is probably multi-100,000 £.
Well, where does Bugatti make the money then?
Volkswagen bankroll them.
I suppose. What else do Bugatti sell now that I think about it?
Merch.
Oh, no, the Devo and the Devo, the new Cento Dieci, which I'm surprised they even made.
They're all one-offs. They lose money on those.
Yeah, Cento Dieci, Devo. Then
what is the Devo?
The Devo is the like aggressive-looking Veyron, like really aggressive. It's the Magma edition in the Crew 2, and the Emerald edition.
Oh.
Which, now that I think about it, a very weird car. Like, actually thinking about the Devo, a very offshoot.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more Devo Chiron relation than it is new car.
Yeah, it'll be somewhere in the middle, I suppose. Also the La Voiture Noire, they did that. That one was one they sold like 2 of 3 of.
I mean,
like,
Bugatti lost 6 million on every Veyron they sold.
Oh God, how much?
I can't imagine the finances have gotten much better.
Yeah. Okay. Damn. But wait, damn. What? How many did they? I hope they didn't sell a lot then. I mean,
they sold a fair amount. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
God.
I've seen one.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
I mean, they're an auto trader, and they're not hard to find.
I imagine they're not selling for as much as they were bought for an auto trader. Oh
no, they're well under $1 million.
Also, the ugly.
They made 500 Veyrons.
Oh, there you go. So they lost 500. How much was 6 million? Oh yeah. God. So essentially, they've lost. Was it 506 million? The 30, close to 3. Not billion, it can't be. Either 300 million is I think what it was.
It was over a large number of years because the Veyron was a thing for a while, so it wasn't like they just got negative number popping in their bank account.
Yeah, I suppose. But 600 million times 500, they made a loss of 3 billion. 3. I was counting the zeros, which I tend to do. They did actually lose 3 billion in the lifespan of that car. Now, also the really ugly convertible ones, or sorry, not even convertible, roofless Bugattis. They also made those, the Veyron Barchetta and the.
Those are cars that are throwaway. They lose money on those 100%, like without fail. They might break even on the Chiron. Because I mean, they've made them for so long and they make so many of them.
Yeah, there
these
was probably
one-offs.
Yeah. No, those are down the drain. Also, what's the one that's not the Veyron Barchetta, but it's the one that everyone actually does ask for? Mistral, yeah, that as well. Yeah, that there's a few ugly.
Is that different from the Barchetta? No, it looks the same to me.
Yeah, it is. It's not a Veyron for one, but yeah, no, they look very, very.
Is it? It's probably a Veyron underneath.
If you actually look at them, they are a fair bit different. Obviously, the Veyron's a bit closer to the Veyron. Not really at all. I'd say the Veyron's closer to a Chiron. The Mistral is basically like a La Voiture Noire, but with the roof sliced off.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like a La Voiture Noire kid car,
La Voiture Noire,
basically.
Not a Chiron, but just modified slightly.
I'd say it's more of a Devo modified slightly, but yeah, it is just like
which a Devo is a Chiron.
Yeah. It's the skin of a Chiron being cosplaying as the Atlantic or whatever, the one it's based on. But
yes, yeah.
Bugatti, you know what? They've got heritage, they've got namesake.
Do they?
In this economy, making a new Chiron is a bit fun, but
I guess they sell because people have money somewhere.
It's a
Bugatti.
They always will. Yeah. People are gonna be buying Bugattis, most definitely. Till the end of time. And I imagine
Volkswagen likes the tax write-off.
Not everyone, exactly that. Not everyone uses the Jocelyn measurement, which is how many Audi R8s could you buy in that money, you know? So it's
how many Veyrons could you buy with Chiron money?
There you go. It scales up, you know. That's the second increment.
Yeah.
It's like how many Audi R8s go into one Chiron and Veyron, and then how many Veyrons go into the next thing.
Yeah.
But that's gonna be absolutely interesting when it does come out, and you're gonna hear about it first on the Stick Drift podcast, because Bugatti are paying us $1 billion.
I wonder how they're gonna get a high power V16 to production. Because you gotta think, that crankshaft is it's like 1 meter long. They say it's like this long.
Yeah.
With how much power that makes, how that doesn't bend is...
But this new Bugatti will not be as fast as the Tesla Roadster, now confirmed by Elon Musk, who's always...
Alleged. Confirmed is not the right choice of words here.
Elon Musk, who is known for being always reliable in the things he says. The man...
Exactly.
You know what? I was actually going to start this segment off by being like, you know what happened with the e-tron? How they made it too long ago and the style hasn't caught up with it or whatever?
They released a Roadster like this. Good luck.
Could I say it kind of doesn't look that bad? This image, I think this image does it wonders, honestly. I genuinely think this image is kind of
It's like a double bubble. It's like the roof, then the bonnet. I don't like it.
This angle or whatever looks worse to me. This one looks worse. Looks like an NSX, I guess. But
that is slanderous to the NSX.
Yeah, and I mean the old
Why are the
one
A-pillars
too.
the size of a straw?
The
Like, if this rolls over, your skull's gone.
The back reminds me of an Alpine a little. No, it reminds me of something. Lotus, yeah, I suppose so, which would make sense when it comes to Tesla Roadster. But the Tesla Roadster, which, like the e-tron...
So bad from the front.
They made it so long ago that current style has outran where it is, which is what happens in the Audi e-tron.
This was clearly made when round was in fashion. Round is not in fashion anymore, and it hasn't been for a while.
But this thing is now Elon Musk is talking about how it's gonna release end of 2024. Before they've
He wants to show a working prototype by 2024, with sales starting end of the year after.
But I remember the year they showed a working prototype of the Cybertruck, and believe it or not, it wasn't the year before it released.
They had one they drove around to events. I don't know where they put it.
Didn't
in
they
the
launch
bin, I'd assume.
that? Yes. Didn't they launch one into space, or was that a different car?
That was the old Roadster. That was the Mark 1.
Okay. But the Tesla Roadster, here are some stats, and
oh no.
I'd like you to bite your tongue in the meantime. So,
take a sip of my Tango.
From Elon Musk, tonight we radically increase the design goals for the new Tesla Roadster. There will never be another car like this, if you could even call it a car. I'm sure for legal reasons it's still called a car. Tesla/SpaceX collab. Okay, that's like me saying BrickWaj and SidWaj collab. But
I'll get into why he says that in a minute. But
okay. Yeah. Production design, complete and unveil end of year, aiming to ship next year. Which he misspelled. Next year is what he's written. See
our Twitter, everyone.
There you go. The guy who added editing tweets can't edit his tweet to change the spelling. I think it has a shot at being the most mind-blowing production demo of all time. Now, we're not done yet.
What dies in this unveiling? That would make it mind-blowing.
Targeting a 0 to 60 of around 1 second with the fastest spec. Please tell us this machine is coming soon. Elon Musk's reply, 0 to 60, less than 1 second. And that is the least interesting part. To begin with, when it comes to mind-blowing reveal, the Cybertruck, for all its faults, the Cybertruck...
I hope this blows up on stage.
And no one is hurt.
They lift the covers off, they put the foot down, just smoke everywhere. The car don't move.
And no one is hurt in the process, of course.
The car, I don't know, mind-blowing feature. They have, like a Saturn rocket, the top pops off, and they parachute down to the ground.
Yep. The car just sort of, it gains sentience and go, guys, step back a second. Just, a bit more.
Like a transformer transforms, takes and puts them back down the stage.
Puts them over there. Okay. Everyone at distance? Okay, good. And then that's the end of the Tesla Roadster. I will say, though, the Cybertruck, for all its faults, it had a really, reveal when it was first revealed. Because they had, it was a big angular car. It genuinely was something people hadn't seen before at the time. Yeah. It was before electric pickups as a whole. It was the first sort of,
the
insanely
fact that it was, the first electric pickup revealed and was one of the last to release. It was so funny.
Yeah. It also it was around when before Cyberpunk came out. It was around all of this other time. The Cybertruck was a perfect storm to be a crazy reveal, especially with him breaking the window. But the Tesla Roadster is just a supercar.
Yeah, but it's got rockets on it.
Potentially.
He said this before. Every time from ages ago, he was like, "Oh, it's going to be the world's fastest accelerated car with the help of rockets." That's why it's a SpaceX collab.
Ah, okay, so that's why it's a SpaceX. All right.
You're gonna get, I think you get a second of boost from the rockets.
So what we talked about,
rockets in quotation marks. They're like,
yeah.
The way I describe them is they're like firework rockets. They're not like big SpaceX rockets. They're like tiny rockets this wide for a second, and that's it.
But then there's a couple things about the rockets. One thing that
there's no way they get this past any legislation.
There you go. That's the one that I assumed you would.
Pedestrian safety. Who?
So what's the real issue? Tell me the real issue about having a rocket on your car. How is it not safe? Go on.
Where do you want to start? Emissions, pedestrian safety, vehicle safety, driver control. There's got to be more.
It's going to be funny going round a turn, you accidentally slip on the rocket button and... Oh! No!
Involving in GTA just starts rotating comically fast.
It's just... like it's like an actual cartoon. Just, no, yay! Time to go and turn around the children's orphanage.
But
not the rocket button!
This might be another US-only vehicle, because, one, you've got to convince the EU vehicle regulators that this complies with any emissions regulation known to mankind. Which, rockets. No. Pedestrian safety tests. It is a rocket.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you convince legislators that this isn't one of the worst ideas known to mankind? You can't.
Well...
The US will let it because Elon Musk, American company, money.
Yeah.
Like money emoji, I don't know.
What if someone's standing behind your car when it launches? Do they just get their ankle burnt off? Is that what happens? Do they just get their ankle burnt off? They got a built-in ankle...
It probably won't let you use the rockets if there's something within 20 meters or so behind you.
You'd hope so.
I'd hope.
Yeah. But one thing I pointed out was surely that is going to be the most easily accessible thing to steal off of this car.
No. The rockets they'll be liquid fueled. The tanks will be in miles deep in the chassis for center of gravity.
What if you don't need the tank though? You just go out with a rocket.
Or you will have a tube.
What?
It's like stealing a jet engine with no internals. You get a tube. Brilliant.
Still take out the internal stuff. The tank doesn't have to come with all of the rockety stuff. Surely.
All the rocket side of the rocket is a tube with a hemispherical thing in it and a pipe.
Also,
that's all the rocket is. It's not much to it. Can make one if you want it under.
Doesn't that mean that you're still gonna have to put fuel in your car so you can use the rocket?
Tesla will be anyone's to sell it, I guarantee it. But yeah.
Oh yeah, yes.
I mean, you'll get 5 launches maximum from a tank.
Yeah.
This will drink liquid fuel like nothing.
Well, that and it's gonna be. Especially considering it's just launch and not cruising, not anything like that.
You shouldn't be able to claim 0 to 60 range and performance tests on temporary features. I stand by this. Hybrid supercars with 20 miles of hybrid range shouldn't be able to claim 0 to 60 top speed tests using the hybrid battery system. Because it's false advertising.
Yeah.
It can do it once.
Mm.
And then the rest of the time the car's half as quick.
Yeah. What did we talk about, or did I just hear it somewhere? A car that only gives you a limited amount of hybrid launches or something, or it was you only get a limited amount of using some specific feature. I think it was a boost or something, and it will just slowly you use it and it uses 1 of 500 for the lifetime of the car. I forget what car.
I think that's probably a warranty thing, though.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I imagine the part that is being stressed there has tolerances that they've only they've tested up to like sort of 600, where it starts to fail, so they limit you to 500.
Yeah. So they can get away with the warranty, I suppose.
Because the Taken limits your boost mode to 2 minutes when you press the button. I'd assume to preserve battery life in the long run. Because you don't want to cook the battery.
But Elon Musk. Well, one thing is though, is that like having launch on a car, it just means that it's not gonna be useful at all outside of a few YouTubers' videos.
It is a party track, is what this car will be. Same as the Cybertruck's bulletproofness. It's a bulletproofness in quotation marks. It's a party track.
Yeah.
Serves no real world purpose. And the actual 0 to 60 without the stupid gimmicky rockets will be 2.3, 2.2.
Yeah. Well, then again, they'll probably use all the hacks and whatnot that they already used to.
Oh, they'll claim 1.8. I'm going to say 1.8 without the rockets is what I'm going to say they're going to claim because they're using rollout again. But on a street surface, not a prop drag strip, 2.2 is about the limit for a car that way. Unless he invents new tyre technology, which I don't think he's going to.
You never know. What if rockets on the tyre?
This is the ultimate ram raiding vehicle.
What is that?
Well, you ram into a side of a shop and steal the ATM.
Oh, that's a
This will go through any wall.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Ridiculous
suppose so.
0 to 60 will weigh like 2.5 tons. Powering around. Anyway, no, that was a thought I just had.
And if you do that, we are not liable for such actions, and we would
That's why they all
recommend
use Range
against
Rovers, because they're big and heavy.
Yeah, there you go. Is that a widespread crime? Do people do that enough that it's a big issue?
Yeah, that's a very, very common thing.
Oh, it's hell.
Yeah.
I suppose that's why. I guess you build an ATM into a building. I guess. But there you go. Who would have?
That's the idea. Yeah, but I mean,
I do remember the
one.
one.
Silly when they steal like a bulldozer or something and just wrap a chain around the bulldozer thing, wrap a chain around the ATM and just reverse it. Yeah, nothing's stopping that.
I was thinking of that one clip where a guy stole an ATM with a big crane, crane car.
That's why farm equipment goes missing so often because it's
God.
You steal a Range Rover, you steal a trailer, you steal a digger or something. You could ram through a wall, pull the thing up with the digger, put it in the back of a trailer, connect another stolen car, drive off.
I wonder how much of that is worth it. Like, surely you don't make enough to be
No, there's no more than like 400 quid in an ATM, sure.
Right? Like, okay, I think it'd still be more.
I suppose when you think about it like this, when all the cars are free,
yeah.
Your out-of-pocket cost is nothing.
I guess so, yeah. And I do think there'd be more than 4. I think there'd be a couple thousand in there because obviously ATMs have like a £200 withdrawal limit, something like that. So then it's like, you know, if enough
it depends
people...
where, like a random corner shop in the middle of nowhere. I can't imagine there's much money.
No, yes, they'll have nothing because they don't expect anyone to actually take
But they're the ones they steal because I can't imagine you're ram raiding somewhere in London.
Yeah, there you go.
You ain't get away with that.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
But
he's lying.
Is that what you? Is that your claim of the day?
I do not believe single use or limited time modes to artificially increase acceleration should count towards official acceleration statistics.
Yeah.
If you had a car that could do its sole purpose, right? The new Supra claims to be the fastest car around Brands Hatch.
Yeah.
But it could only drive around Brands Hatch once before it needs to be refueled.
Yeah.
It's such a pointless statistic.
Yeah.
Because you get one shot and that's it. The car's just a paperweight.
I suppose it does. Technically, it does. It is something it is capable of.
It can do that, asterisk.
Yeah.
But they don't claim they can do it, asterisk.
They claim it does.
You have 20 miles of range using the hybrid battery assist on the NSX.
Yeah.
Well, you can't claim it can do... You can't claim range statistics on that as well, I'll have you know. Because they'll do a 40-mile range test. Well, half that's battery assisted.
Yeah.
So if you do 400 miles, you're range that you're going to get from the vehicle is about half than claimed because, yeah. DVSA needs to get that sorted out right now.
Well, then again, he could just keep making those claims. Even if the DVSA sorted that out, he could just keep making those claims and continue to not sell a car in the UK. And
this is never going to be sold in the UK.
Yeah, same with the Cybertruck. I think we're never seeing a Cybertruck in the UK.
With A-pillars that thin? Yeah.
Yeah. No shot, I dare say. I mean, it looks like it could, other than the A-pillars, I guess. Physically, it looks like it would comply to standards.
That's a very pedestrian safety style bonnet. Yeah, I'll give it that.
There you go. See, perfect. But I believe Elon's absolute nonsense and whatnot does conclude the main sections of the Stick Drift podcast, and it takes us right into the final sections, the gaming segment and the motorsports segment of the Stick Drift podcast. Now, in gaming, there is a fair few things going on. Oh, I just remembered the stuff that's actually happened since the last episode.
I don't. You're going to have to enlighten me on this one.
So, one, the Audi RS6 has happened, I suppose. It's in Forza. It's in Need for Speed. It just got added to Need for Speed. It just got added to Forza. I heard SidWaj just uploaded a video on it.
What?
As well as Gran Turismo announced their new cars, which were an Evo.
An Evo.
And a bad French car, which I'm just quoting Black
Panther's
title. Yeah, the Renault 4. And then the thing with the...
I can't remember. Quick.
It's Gran Turismo, because of course the cars that they added was and because it was the
isn't it in the Carnage chat? Where's it gone?
Because they added the it would be in gaming presumably.
Oh, but yeah. Racing game.
Yep, and because they added the Evo and the French car, the obvious thing to add as the third car was, of course...
It's loading. Arco's loading.
Load
quicker, please! It was the TT.
Oh, yeah! What a rubbish! No wonder we didn't remember. The Audi TT. That thing is also coming out along with the Renault 5 and the Evo.
4.
Renault 4, that's what I said, actually. I decided. Gran Turismo did that. Need for Speed is back and whatnot. They've got a big update. Forza is in a European-themed month. And The Crew 2 is getting its final update in...
Allegedly.
2 days! 2 days. 1 day from when you're listening to the Stick Drift podcast, if you're listening to it on day dot, we are going to be getting a final update, and it will hopefully be good. That's about all we know, and that being nothing. They've not promoted it, they've not teased it, they've not done anything, there's not anything in the game about it, there is literally no information on the new update, and that's where we are. Then, we also have the Crew Motorfest. In a week after that, exactly a week, we get the High Ride update, which I believe also we don't know much about other than DB5.
Film themed as well. There's like film reel on Twitter.
Yeah, so film themed, DB5, some car that looks like a made up car or an edition of an AMG one. But it's like on the screen for like 2 frames. Then there's also like charges and stuff involved, but they're already in the game. Other than that, it's like it looks like it's gonna be like a stuntman for a film shoot. Could actually be fun, hopefully. Then we've got your favorite topic, actually, the one you were looking forward to talking about. Test Drive Unlimited.
Yes, I can't wait.
Was this week. Test Drive Unlimited, the game that does exist because
allegedly, again, I don't believe
it. that you can now see exists, revealed another trailer. Now, they hyped this up. It was at Nacon Connect. They talked about how they were going to be there with a trailer of some sort. Now, here's the thing. If you're at an event... Look, the other trailers that they released, the Racer, the Cruiser, those were just chucked out. This one was at Nacon Connect. So, my assumption was like, this'll be like a big, whoa, trailer with a release date, which, again, my assumption, release
it's a very
date...
normal assumption to have, considering we haven't had a release date for how long now? About a year.
Yeah. What was the last release date they gave before this? Was
September, wasn't it?
I
September
think the last...
of last year?
No, September of 2022, I think, was the last concrete release date.
So we haven't had a release date in a year and a half. Brilliant.
I think so, at least, yeah. Because then it was like, it switched to early 2024. I think, as far as I remember. Because we had like nothing when they blew past the date. And I think they said 2023. And then near the end of 2023, they were like early 2024.
Yeah.
I think. This is going off memory. But I assumed we'd get a release date, maybe like a cinematic, some gameplay. I expected... look, maybe it was my fault. But the issue is we don't know how far along this game is. Because they just haven't... Because they've been radio silent, which could be a good thing. If they weren't showing trailers like they showed the other day. So I will let you take the helm of describing and explaining the trailer that released the other day. I'll whack it on screen and you can give us the breakdown.
It's essentially just cars driving around off-road. Is there a bit of on-road? It shows more of the environment on the off-road section.
So it's like the other trailers are like the Cruiser and the Racer, like different types of gameplay. This is the Explorer or whatever.
But it's an in-game render, in-engine render.
So not
gameplay. And it shows the cars, that are driving around off-road. You got the... You got a Lancia, a Porsche... Is it a Panamera? Yeah.
It's
Panamera.
a Taycan. It's the wagon Taycan, yeah.
You got a Taycan, Ford F-150, and a Lancia Delta? I don't know what this one's called.
Some weird one, yeah.
And they're all just driving around off-road. There are no textures, no reflection. There are textures, they're just flat.
They're really plasticky, yeah.
Yeah, really plasticky and flat. There's no particle effects.
Oh, that
for some
also.
reason.
Yep.
And there's just no reflections on stuff like lights for some reason as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how in the year of 2024 they can release a trailer with that level of quality. It's like one of the shots with the F-150. It's like you got the front quarter, the light on, you're here, and it's so bad.
Yeah. So
I also like how that fence that we just saw explodes.
It explodes off. Yeah. The shot you're describing, it's sort of a wide angle F-150 from the camera, probably about like 40 degrees to the camera's left facing. And one other thing, and one other thing you notice about that is, one, you see the rubbery cars. Two, you see the no particle effects when it launches off. Yep, that was the shot. You see the no particle effects. You see the rubbery textures. You see no reflections on the light. You see flat rocks, which they have some 3D rock elements, but a lot of it is flat rocks. It's just rocks that are just textures. Forza, Need for Speed, Crew, no game does texture rocks anymore. And Test Drive has done. Then there is also the issue of... well, that was the main thing. Also there, I did actually go and check. You can see how blatant flat rocks are. And it was a bit of a meme that I was upset about them. But, like, look at it. It's so
bad.
Look, the game isn't a PS3 game. It isn't. I'll admit that. It isn't.
Nintendo Switch release?
That one's a bit too far of a claim, right? But...
Early PS4. Now we're talking.
But early PS4 is more accurate because that flat rocks is a thing you'd get on games from the early PS4. Like, it's not a modern
Hard
game
of motion
thing.
blur, flat textures, no reflections. The Crew 1 is reborn. You can do one of those guides and then
I did that. I did that because this obviously originally was supposed to come out Q1 latest March.
Yeah.
And Crew 1
Died
dies
March
in March
2024, born March 2024. Welcome back, Crew 1.
Exactly. And that one popped off too. So the thing is it just looks so. Most of that is graphics. A lot of that complaining is graphics.
Of Crew 1.
But a lot of that is graphics complaining. Yes. But
it's an in-engine trailer. Well, it's not even gameplay. Like,
So,
if the in-engine trailer is this low quality, what does the gameplay look like?
that's kind of what I was thinking. I was like, you know what? If this is going to be the trailer, why not make it gameplay? Like, why not have just made it gameplay?
I think I know why, but yeah.
I mean, if I had to assume, I'd assume it's because it runs 0 frames, is why I'd...
Well, I
I'd
imagine
assume.
it was worse than this as well, graphically.
Yeah. Oh, do you reckon? I will say, and the worst thing about what I'm about to say is it's not gameplay.
It's a Crew 2 hat, not Crew 2, Crew Motorfest hat.
The camera looks pretty good. I like the way the camera behaves sometimes behind the cars. There's one like that looks satisfying to me, at least. But that could just not be how the camera works because it's not a gameplay trailer. It's an in-engine or whatever. One fun thing is off-road tires on the Taycan. So meaning there will be different types of tires you can put on a car, and then that will presumably affect its performance off-road. Because they're going for a real, like a way more simcade than any racing game has, basically. Also, they claim. They're going for, like, realistic...
graphics as well.
I've heard claimed near real-life physics and whatnot is what they're
by
going
who?
for. I don't actually remember. But I will say, it's gameplay-wise, collectibles, good thing. Collectibles, a good thing. Full stop. Right? I can give it that.
You could argue that, yeah.
The map in most of these trailers always looked pretty good. I don't mean that visually. I mean that, which then again, the foliage in here is pretty nice. I mean, look at the foliage.
Well, it's going to release in 2025.
And also yeah, it looks fun to drive in. Honestly, it just looks fun to drive in. Frankly,
depends how the physics feel, but yeah.
Yeah, true. But there is also the case of we did not get a release date with this. There was no release date. The article was titled release date, but then didn't have a release date in it. But yes, the trailer did not give us any kind of indication as to even when the game would come out. The article then said soon.
It's a good indication of when it's going to come out and not soon.
Yeah.
I hope.
Yeah, if the game looks like this, don't be soon.
The physics look so... They don't look
then
right,
again,
though. Like, when that Lancia's going around a corner,
yeah,
it, just, scale extras cars around the corner. It doesn't... Like, the terrain's not affecting it. I don't...
Yeah,
it looks off.
Then again, not gameplay. So you gotta remember that. I would refrain from criticizing that because not gameplay.
What if the gameplay's worse?
Well, that's a what if. Apparently there's gonna
that offense pop is so funny.
Then again, racing games are always pretty goofy with their environments breaking. There's apparently gonna be like 300 collectibles of some sort on the map.
Not doing that. No. 300, 30 collectibles is a fun. Ooh, I can go collect these. 300 is tedious and a waste of time.
Well, it's because you're the racer archetype and not the explorer archetype. But
We got a hater archetype.
The article said soon, is what it said. It said they need more time for optimization. They need more time to get the game to be optimized, I guess. That's why there's no particle effects, because optimization is what they said. which, God, it really is a hindrance on this trailer, the no particle effects. Like,
optimization is an engine trailer. It's a game engine not able to run particle effects. What do they mean?
I mean, they've been running tests on the game. We know that there's been insider testing, so clearly they do have a playable version. So I don't know, honestly. One really interesting thing that came out about this though, is that KT Racing, the company developing this game, is also at the same time developing a motocross game,
MXGP,
and a world endurance car. Is that what it's called?
Not. I don't think it's a licensed. It's not like an MXGP license. Get like that game is. It's Endurance Motorsport. I think is the name of the game. It's not licensed yet. I don't.
So they might only have like 2 of the cars. Yeah. Well, they've got Porsche clearly, because that's the one in the trailer. So they might not actually have. Oh, that makes it a bit worse, because I was looking forward to a game where I could just straight up play.
Motorsport Games has a endurance game out. They released that like a month ago, less than a month ago at this point. I wonder how many exclusive license rights they secured.
Yeah, that's the thing, is how many of the licenses this is going to have if it doesn't just have the overarching WEC license. Because obviously, if you have the WRC license in a game, unless like Red Bull and stuff who have their licenses separate, you just get the cars, right? You can make a WRC game or whatever easily.
Yeah.
But they haven't got the WEC license, so they're kind of screwed. I hope it's still good. I'm actually really optimistic for that one. I want that to be a really good game. I hope it looks a bit better than this game. I assume it's not going to be as intensive on, needing to render stuff and whatnot as this game, given the map scale.
Just dug this game engine up. I don't know. It's an artifact. It's one of the pyramids.
It's one of the collectibles. The first collectible is the game engine. In fact, there it is.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe you get reflections as one, particle effects as another, and you got a collectible to get.
That's what it is. They haven't got the particle effect collectible yet.
And then you get a scratch. You got to make the game using like a very bare bones. You got to make the game from that.
You got to connect the game pieces. Yeah, you can accidentally attach particle effects to gearing or something by mistake. I don't know. But the motocross game, so niche that I think it doesn't matter. Those niche games are always going to exist, and I don't think they make much money, and also that game is whatever.
You say that, they have competitors in that space.
Do they? Okay, maybe motocross games make money, I guess. Maybe they're so cheap that they make money, I suppose. Then, though, it's probably a very easy game to just chuck on, Game Pass in current day. It's probably a very, very simple game to be here, PlayStation Plus, take it. PlayStation, just pay us a bit of money. Here you go. And that'll subsidize the costs. But also the WEC game, I'm hoping that does well and sells well. Here's the double-edged sword of this. Why are KT Racing spread across 3 different game titles when they have been trying to release Test Drive Unlimited for the last 5 years?
I mean, money. Where is their income coming from when they haven't released a game in the last 5 years?
So, what it does seem like is that Nikon, who own KT Racing, have gone, hey, by the way, guys, so, Test Drive, it's coming along good? Oh, okay, that's good to hear, so I was, don't get me wrong, I was just looking at the, don't mind me, the balance sheets of the last, Flips page. Half a decade, it appears to be a lot of red. So how about you make us some money or something so we can actually justify keeping you afloat, please and thank you. So they are now doing 2 other games. Hopefully those sell. Those return a profit, and then Nikon can maybe even use that profit to justify extra help for getting this game out the door. Because clearly they must be struggling with it, right? I think the thing that is deeply rooted here is that clearly they have been struggling developing this game, right?
I just think this game engine is torturous. I think it's worse than Dunia to try and get it to work.
I might, if you guys want to see it, I might get Alex 7 on for another episode, because I'm thinking, because I want to hear I do want to hear an argument for something like this. Is that a Cayenne just sitting there? I think it is. It is just a Cayenne sitting there. I didn't notice that. I'd want to hear the argument for this, or if there is one, if there isn't. Is these massive delays not a sign that they are really intensely struggling with developing this game? Like, they are having a real hard time getting this game to work in general, right? Like, where are they stuck on the development process? What is going on, honestly?
Is it past gen and new gen, or just new gen?
I don't even know. I guess we'll find out at the end of this.
I don't think they know at this point.
So it is on PlayStation 5. It's new gen only. I wonder if it was old gen originally.
I think it was. Yeah. I just think this game engine is it's not built for this at all.
And they can't restart now. They've come this far. So here's what I think they should do. Is genuinely what I don't think Alex would have a problem.
I do think as well, a game like The Crow, they have other studios support on an engine like Dunia.
Yeah.
They have, Ubisoft can just plug people who know how Dunia works, how to get it to function like properly. They can go, oh, Far Cry team member, you know how Dunia works. You're going here for 6 months to fix this problem.
Yeah.
Nacon can't do that. They've got to take a controller, like POSI-based controllers. Fix this, please.
Yeah. Are the trees glitching because they have stick drift?
If we move the thumbsticks around, this might fix the rocks not loading in.
Let me just fetch my little screwdriver. What do you mean I can't open up the rock textures? I don't think Alex would mind me saying this, but yeah, me and him had a big old discussion about this trailer and whatnot. One thing is that it often does fall back to budget. Is one of the big things that it falls back onto and whatnot. Which budget be damned, right? They've got these 2 other games that they're working on. This is what I think Test Drive should do. And this is what I said to Alex in the end. This is what the conversation boiled down to in the end. Is that this is what I think Test Drive should do. And I'll address, he did have a criticism about this thing, but I'll address that criticism here as well. And bring it up, of course. So what I think they should do is they should go MIA. They should just not talk about Test Drive, blank it out. If they want to post articles, sure, but make every article boring as hell, so it's only the core audience that reads it. It's only, like, it's literally just like, yeah, so we developed this today. Oh, we got this to work. Oh, but if they can, just go complete radio silence with it. And just start developing the other games. People will constantly comment, where's Test Drive? Where's Test Drive? That's the least of the worries, because what people are currently commenting is, this trailer has made me give up on the game. We still haven't gotten a whatever. I've seen this and it still looks like this. I've seen this and it still looks like this. That's what we're getting comments right now, is actively negative. But those comments, the ones that are like, where's the game, are just like, they're nothing. They're truly nothing. It has no effect. People criticizing the game so heavily right now, that has an effect. You're like, okay, I've made a bad game. But if they just went complete radio silence, got out their other games, used that profit to make this game actually good, I don't care if it took 3 more years. If it takes 3 more years, I could not care less. And then come back with a working, good-looking, well-running, rounded game only once you're done, the same way Motorfest did it. And once you have that, restart the marketing campaign. It might be in 1 year, bearing in mind, but I don't care if it was even 3 years. And then restart the marketing campaign from scratch. Have it have a different atmosphere, a different vibe, a different color scheme, a different format, have the trailers have a different everything, and start it with like, hey, we heard you, we just went away, and we made a good game. The thing is that, like, so the criticism there is, people would still complain, people would still be like, oh, but where's Test Drive?
They would be unhappy there's no Test Drive content to be seen.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be essentially saying they do not want to play the game anymore.
Exactly, right? Like, there is, because that's just a complete nothing. Right,
I mean, this trailer has solidified I am not buying this game.
Oh, damn, okay, yeah. But people were
Look at it. I could load up BeamNG and see something I call it.
Yeah. People were actively being like, hey, Where's the crew? Where's the next game? Just make the next game. Where's the next crew? Make the crew 3. Why are you still updating this game? Make the crew 3 or whatever. That couldn't matter less currently. At all. But what people weren't saying, because Motorfest only started advertising once they had a finished game, which also one of the things Alex mentioned was budget to do good advertising. Just once you have a finished game, you can advertise however you want. They're advertising an unfinished game. And good on them that they're not lying about a finished product, but you know, it's both sides are pretty. But I lost my train of thought. Honestly, I derailed. I derailed. I tangented like 5 too many times. What was I referring to a second ago? A finished game. Motorfest only started advertising when they had a finished game. So even though people were like, "Where's the next game? Where's the Crew Motorfest?" Didn't matter at all, because what they weren't saying was, "Oh god, this looks bad. Oh god,
yeah.
Oh, this looks bad." Like, that's what it is. I want them to go radio silence and not care about it, because it shouldn't matter.
At least just show something show something good, please.
Yeah, just like
it's like they read the feedback from every trailer and go, "This is how we make it worse."
And if they don't have anything good to show, then don't show anything until you have something good, right? Yep. Like, yeah, oh god, it does my head in, because I want the game to be really good and I want the game to succeed. Oh, but what are you gonna do about it? You know, what are you gonna do?
TDU.
TD, what are you gonna TD do? But that is most all in the gaming segment of the Stick Drift podcast. And the Motorsports segment this week is rather unfortunate, because the 2024 season's...
didn't win.
The 2024 season is over.
It's 2024 season. I thought it was 2023 again.
It's finished actually. The season ended, I believe. There's nothing to talk about actually, because you can just go watch the 2023 season and in fact you can watch the next episodes. You know, you can watch the next races. Frankly, yeah. What's happened in the world of F1?
I mean, so if we did an episode of the first race of last year, just replay that bit, to be honest. But yeah, Max won by 20 seconds.
Yep.
Perez came second, and then George Russell came third.
George Russell drives...
car?
No,
Mercedes.
I know this. No, I would never have guessed that. I genuinely would never have guessed that.
What would you have guessed?
I was looking at Ferrari, but then I know it's not Ferrari, because that's Carlos Sainz.
No, it was Sainz. It was Sainz, not Russell. Yeah.
See?
Sainz came third. Yeah,
I knew that, and I was actually on a 5-head
in the back
play.
of your head, you do. Yeah, why did I think it was Russell? What did Russell do?
I was in an absolute 5-head play there. I'm beasted. Russell, you could say he bloody rustled some feathers. I don't know.
Yeah, no, Russell must have done something. Breathe or something. I don't know. He does over there, but yeah.
There was a 1-hour pit stop or something. there was a...
Yeah. Bottas had a 1-minute pit stop because Sauber... Oh,
so
no, the wheel wouldn't go on. They lost their minds for some reason.
Yeah, so explain what happened there. What was the process?
They went to put the wheel on. It didn't go on. And then it looked like they went to put the old wheel back up, but they can't be set, so they stopped. And then they just kind of like, one of the other mechanics threw a wheel nut, but I guess that fixed it. But that was like 30 seconds before the end of the pit stop, and they just cut away after that. So.
Yeah.
Average Sauber. Only Bottas would have that luck as well. So like Bottas moment as well.
Who's Yuki? And is he always mad? Like who's Yuki and is he? Because I've been watching some F1 TikToks. I've been getting a few of those.
So Daniel was behind Yuki.
Okay.
And
who does he
Daniel
race
couldn't
for?
overtake on his own. They both raced for AlphaTauri, which is now Visa Cash App RB.
Yes.
I call it AlphaTauri. So they both raced for AlphaTauri, and Daniel caught up to Yuki but couldn't overtake, so team orders were to swap positions.
Yeah.
And then they just finished those positions.
Oh.
So essentially Daniel got a free overtake on Yuki because team orders.
Oh.
So Yuki threw a fit and dive bombed him after the race.
Good on him.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's a very Yuki move. I give him that.
So, is this the biggest distance between a first and second place that's ever been a thing? Is it not? Okay.
The gap was bigger 2019, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So, Verstappen won by
I mean,
22
and you say that like we haven't had
seconds.
multi-minute gaps between first and second. Like,
Oh, has that been a thing?
20 years ago, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The cars have never been closer.
I
It's
guess they've
just
really leveled
Max
out,
is
yeah.
better.
But while F1 is that basically it though?
I
It
mean,
was
every
bad.
other car was falling apart.
Yeah.
Leclerc's car was pulling to the right while braking because, sure, it's a Ferrari.
Yeah.
Russell's car was overheating. Lewis Hamilton's seat fell apart mid-race.
Yeah.
Alex Albon's car was just dying. He was chasing one of the Haas. I don't know who it was, but he chased one of the Haas. And the screen just flashes a red car. The car is too hot. So he essentially has to abandon the rest of the race, trying not to get his car to melt.
Yeah.
And I think like 20 hours later, they said the engine's failing. It's too hot still, so he wasn't cooling down.
Yeah.
So, and also Alex's steering wheel stopped working.
What?
All the buttons on the wheel just stopped, so he couldn't change engine mode, brake balance.
What the fuck?
Sargent's wheel got a mind of its own and set all his brake balance. He set it to 95% forward by itself, so he essentially couldn't stop.
Yeah.
Which was, certified Williams moment. So they had to replace his wheel due to a wheel failure. Yeah.
The thing
Disaster
is,
of a race.
right? The thing is that it's like the wheel disconnecting. That's not even like you went into a wall. Oh no, your wing's broken. Like the wheel disconnecting is something inherently wrong with the wiring of the car. Like it's like that's not even something like, oh no, you slid into something or whatever.
I mean, everything's electronic now. Like you change the diff settings, like how the way the rear differential works based on the amount of power it's being given by the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Like it's all just electronic and motors and servos, and when you switch to a new wheel and the new software doesn't like the new wheel, it just kind of throws a fit and you can't do anything.
Yeah. Also, I heard Alpine is currently on their downfall, is what I heard.
They're in tractor league at this point.
Yeah, so what happened? Were they good?
If Sargent and Bottas didn't have problems, the two cars in front of them were Alpines.
Oh, God.
So tells you what you need to know. Really.
Were Alpine this bad before?
No.
So
they're
what happened
a solid
to them?
midfield team.
Yeah.
And then no one likes them anymore, so all their development staff, even after this race, their leads aerodynamicist left, was it?
Oh God! Oh,
one of their heads of car development left. The technical director left. Yeah.
Him leaving is like, mate, this was your fault. What are you throwing a strop for?
Yeah, but now they have no one in charge.
Yeah, no, that is bad.
Like it's not like this guy's replaced him. Come on, he should. I've gone home.
Yeah.
They are so screwed.
But
their car's this slow, and now they have no technical director.
Yeah. Oh God, that's gone terribly for them.
I mean, it's going to be another Verstappen walks every single race of the year.
Oh yeah. Did he get a flawless season or whatever last season?
No, Perez won 2 races.
How did he manage that? Okay. But was
3
that
circuits.
team? Okay. I was gonna say, was that team orders?
Perez can actually drive a car sometimes when he remembers how to.
Yeah. Okay. I suppose so. Well, I suppose this one is going to be the one that's Verstappen wins every race. And this, I'm
it
calling
won't be because once Albon's car is working, easy win.
Yeah. Also, Lewis's final season at Mercedes.
Mercedes, yeah.
But
the Ferrari actually does look quicker than the Mercedes.
Oh,
so if they can keep on that track.
Maybe that's what he did it based on.
It's not a contender for the World Championship.
Oh, I suppose, but maybe
it's a contender for a podium every now and again.
That's what's happening though. That's what they're doing. But while F1 was utterly abysmal and boring, there MotoGP.
No, that's next week.
But while F1 was very, very boring, I heard WEC did a big WEC.
I mean, you could say it's boring when the podium was all Porsches.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, is Porsche the Red Bull of WEC?
No, because they changed the performance. The cars get different power allowances based on the circuit and stuff.
Yeah.
And I think just this circuit played itself into Porsche's advantages, really.
Okay. Which, that's kind of cool, because that means that, hey, look, different circuit layout.
Well, they tried to make all the cars equal, is the idea, on every circuit. Unless you're Peugeot and your car's so bad it doesn't really matter.
So what happened to Peugeot during
They
that race?
They had the least weight and the most power allowance. So
Yeah.
they technically, on paper, were the better. They were the quickest on the straights as well.
Yeah.
But the car it has no rear wing because Peugeot were like, this is cool. No rear wing meta. It's not. Believe it or not, rear wings serve a purpose.
Yep.
Because they switched to a ground effect style system where the floor provides all the downforce.
Yeah.
Well, most of the tracks are too bumpy where you can't run the car low to the ground.
Yep.
If the car's low to the ground, you don't get downforce.
Yeah.
So it's such a stupid, slidey car. Terrible.
But they were winning for a very long time during that race. They were
first for the first 20, 30 minutes, I think, and they dropped down to second.
Oh.
It's not the first few hours they were in first place.
Oh yeah, there you go. First few hours, yeah. And then their car, just stopped working?
I think they're 63 and 64. Oh no, 93 and 94. 94 got violated at the start. It got like bumped off the track.
Oh god, yeah.
And then problem after problem on that car is French.
And they also got DQ'd?
Oh, number 93, Domo. That was in second. First for the first 2 hours, second for the other 7 hours of the race, and then 4 minutes before the end, it just decided to give up.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, oh, French!
Yeah.
And then it just stopped working. Like, it just completely stopped for some reason. And they managed to limp it across the line P7 in the end, and then got DQ'd for using electric power under 90 miles an hour.
Yeah, so what's the what with that? How does that work and how do they break it?
They haven't actually confirmed how the car broke yet, but the rule...
Oh, as in, no, the rule. How does the rule work and how they break it?
You're not allowed to use your electric assist under 90 miles an hour on the racetrack.
So the car's a hybrid?
Yeah.
Okay, and then the electric just makes them a bit faster. And... I guess you're not able to use them under 90, and that car wasn't able to reach 90, I guess. So, I'm sure he got a nice cruise, you know. I imagine he got a nice little a drive out of it, you know.
Such a shame, because it's the last time they're going to use the wingless car as well.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're switching to more regular style car.
What? What?
It's so unfortunate, though, because if it did, like...
Yeah.
The car in front as well had a problem, like right before the end as well. It had to pit first to replace the number on the side because it got hit.
Yeah.
If that car was knocked out of contention, or DQ'd for not having the correct side pod on, which was a possibility, the Peugeot would have inherited the win.
Oh, yeah.
And the wingless Peugeot winning an endurance race would have been a banger. But no, it woke up and remembered it was French and just died.
But you know what? I may even continue to watch some WEC because WEC actually pretty good. In fact, I saw a YouTube video being like everyone's stopping watching F1 and starting to watch WEC or whatever. Which I'm sure will definitely happen. Is there any characters on WEC? Is there any? Is there any?
Nick de Vries was in it. I'm pretty sure. I didn't actually check the drivers list, but Nick de Vries was in there. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. It needs its own Verstappen or Marcus or whatever. Like it needs their own.
Marcus is racing next week for his new team.
Oh, there you go. Oh, we swapped teams. Oh,
yeah,
that's rough.
So a much better bike, by the way. Like it might actually be able to get a podium for once.
Well, there you go. So you'll hear about MotoGP next week. But speaking of next week, that's when you'll see us. And actually, next week I think. Let me do the maths.
Go on.
Next week should be the early access Crew Motorfest news episode. So if you're looking forward to some Crew Motorfest news and whatnot, that will be in next episode, where instead of being big whoa, oh my god, can you believe this, guys? SidWaj video, you can come here and listen to me and Josh break it down. And then after we're done dancing,
like the emote,
we'll also talk about that. By the way, head down there, subscribe, leave a like on the podcast, share the podcast and whatnot. I've just seen that the Sidemen are launching a cereal, so I'd like to hereby announce that we will be making stick drift O's. There will be tiny pistons and tires and whatnot.
Full of stick drifts, and they're like in. No, never mind. It was dead, but then around.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you boys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching the episode.
Could get licensed cereal and have the cereals in the shape of licensed cars.
Ah, there you go.
Like
yeah, they're actual like
Clio
like
shaped.
It's Craves, but the shell is a Clio.
Yeah.
And if you want to see that, get us to 1 billion subscribers. We'll see you boys in the next episode in a bit.